All right, so the UFC has had a busy week last week, and that just means I have a fuck ton of fights to really get through. um, I want to start off with the somewhat lesser known ones. First up being Bo Nickel. He's returning for UFC 309 in November. He's returning on yet another blockbuster card with John Jones and Stipe headlining. I'll talk about their fight in the next video. But yeah, Bo Nickel is fighting Paul Craig. A lot of people are saying this is a pretty even matchup, and that the fight's likely going to the ground. And if the fight goes to the ground, who knows who's going to win? I would disagree. I'd say this is a bad matchup for Paul Craig, and it's just because of how fast Bo Nickel's striking is improving, and because of the way he took out Val Woodburn. I understand Val Woodburn. He's not a great fighter by any means. He doesn't really belong in the UFC either. But Bo Nickel was still able to take him out so early, you know, and that has to account for something because Bo Nickel is improving in a field of fighting that he's not known for and that he's not quite instinctive in, as wrestling or any facet of fighting on the ground. So he's improving, and he's steadily improving, and I feel like in the near future he's going to be a complete fighter, and that is a version. That's a type of fighter that more than likely, at least 75% of the time, gets to the belt. A fighter that's stellar on the ground, stellar on the feet, and just looks to improve in all aspects of their game. John Jones, Volkanovski, Ilya Taporia. There's a bunch of other names out there that I'm having trouble remembering. But yeah, Bo Nickel's evolving into a complete fighter, and he might, he might do so before he even fights Paul Craig. We really have to see, but I think his striking is really going to be on point, especially by the time he fights Paul Craig. There's no other way for me to look at the fight than predict for you guys a second round TKO by Bo Nickel. The fight might go to the ground in round one, but I don't think Paul Craig is going to do much of anything. I get it. He's a jiu-jitsu genius. Great on the ground. He's so great at jiu-jitsu that he even tries to fucking pull guard all the time in his fights. I get it. That being said, he's still no fucking Gordon Ryan, and we saw how Gordon Ryan was able to submit Bo, but I don't think Paul Craig's going to be able to do Bo like Gordon Ryan did him. I think, if he even attempts that, Bo's going to go back to his wrestling know-how, definitely try to sprawl out of takedowns if he even does those, and he won't even try to invite Paul Craig in any grappling matches if he decides to pull guard. But, that's just how I think, Bo should shape his game plan. I really feel like Bo should strike with him, and that's just the best way to defeat Paul Craig. Strike with him and get him out early. Follow the game plan of like a Chao Barallo when Chao Barallo fought Paul Craig. Do something like Chao did. You could hang with him for round one, like I said, but really just turn on the jets in round two and strike with him. Just exchange with Paul Craig. It's the same shit I was screaming at Diego Lopez to do with Brian Ortega 2 nights ago. When you got a really heavy ground game guy that doesn't really know much of what he's doing on the feet, just engage with him, strike with him, really just get in some of those exchanges, because more than likely you're going to land something right on the chin and put the guy out, So I think Bo is going to do that. I think Bo is going to exchange with Paul Craig. Paul Craig will probably look to strike, which he shouldn't do. He'll probably he'll strike with Bo. I don't think he'll strike a lot with Bo, but he'll have to for some of it, unless he tries to pull guard or go for takedowns, which again I feel like will be unsuccessful given how good Bo Nickel's sprawl is and how Bo Nickel's wrestling is. So I don't know. Bo could even try to submit him if he wants to, be all macho and show that he's good everywhere, and I could even beat a good grappling guy at his own game or whatever. But I feel like when you're fighting somebody, you go for their weakness. If you're fighting a wrestler and you're a striker and you know that wrestler has no business fighting on the feet, then you fight on the feet. You take the game, you take the fight to where you're most successful in fights, just like Khabib did. Khabib's a great ground and pound guy. He can really hold you to the ground and strike with you still while he's in ground control. So what is Khabib going to do? He's going to try to get you to the ground. He's going to go for takedowns. He's going to bring you down, and then he's going to latch himself onto you and go for ground and pound, and it's going to be vicious. Same shit Bo should do. Bo's improving steadily with his striking, and because he's improving so much with his striking, and he's improving at a really good rate, strike with Paul Craig and strike with him early. Literally just do that. I'm excited to see what Bo can do at middleweight. I kind of wish they gave Bo a harder opponent because, again, I feel like this fight should fairly be easy for Bo. I feel like it's a bad match for Paul Craig, and I don't know. I really want to see Bo fight like a striker that's pretty good on the ground, you know. Not Marvin, but, you know, I'm having trouble trying to think of a good middleweight right now. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that. But, you know, as for right now, still bright future for Bo. He's one of the brightest rising stars in the UFC right now. And we'll see where he takes it from there. But this should be a pretty easy fight for Bo. It's a lock for Bo in this fight. He's got to win this. There's no other way around it. It's just a lock, man. I know crazy shit happens in the fight game, but this has to fucking be a lock. Anyway, let me know what you guys fucking think. Love y'all. See y'all in the next.